I'm back at it again. We are moving into 2026, and the question for you is, do you have boundaries? Boundaries. Here's the thing. If you don't have boundaries, you don't value yourself. And that's just reality. Anyone who does not have boundaries does not value themselves, whether they recognize it or not. And here's the reason why. A lot of people who don't have boundaries are the people who they are always giving to others and nobody's giving to them. They are people pleasers, right? And people pleasers is a sign of insecurity, right? And as a former people pleaser, to some extent, I wasn't a people pleaser with everyone, but more so like family. Like I always cared about what my family thought. Like I was always about them 24/7. But the reality is they didn't have any boundaries. And the moment I erected boundaries, it was like, who the hell are you and what? And the reality is this, that if you don't have boundaries for yourself, you do not value yourself as much as you think you do, right? And you should check that in 2026. I will definitely be coming back to talk to you about boundaries because that's too long, but I'll say this. There are a lot of people who self-project their insecurities onto you because when you erect boundaries, they take it as a personal affront. It is also spiritual in the sense that people who want control, especially narcissists, will have a problem with you not giving them access. Like they'll say, "Oh, you're trying to isolate yourself," or "Oh, you don't want to be bothered," when that was never said. You know what I mean? The reality is that you want people to have respect. Like you can do what you want, but you can't do these things with me, right? Or not even that. Like you're just not going to accept certain things, right? And when you are someone who has, in general, always accepted the nonsense that people do and just let them keep coming back and they do whatever they want, it's hard for them to accept, unless they have real respect for you and love for you, that you placed up a boundary. Right? A lot of times people who come from families that don't have boundaries get upset when you're like, I don't want you to do that. I don't like that. I don't respect that. Because it is taken as, how dare you say I can't do what I always done? How dare you not follow the crowd, right? And so the reality is that boundaries are a necessity. It doesn't matter who it is, and even at work. Like if you don't put up a boundary, co-workers, your boss is gonna play the hell out of you, period. If you don't put boundaries up, then in that relationship, the dude's gonna walk all over you. If you don't place boundaries up, or the girl, because women can see when you're stupid. Even in situations with friendships, right? If you always show up for a friend who never shows up for you, you don't have no boundaries. If your friend does things that you don't like and you never speak on it, you don't have boundaries, right? If someone is calling you something you don't like for instance, very simple. My name is Victoria. I do not like to be called Vicky. If you let someone call you that, why would I let someone call me something that I don't like? That means I don't have any boundaries. Like I don't even value myself enough to say, hey, my name is Victoria. You can't call me that. You know what I mean? I don't like Vicky. I think it's horrible. Like my family will call me that because they knew me since I was a kid. But imagine, or friends who knew me since I was a kid, that's different. But Vicky, I don't want to be called that. Don't call me that. It's rude to me. And so if somebody decides to give you a nickname that's not your name, and you just like, okay, it doesn't matter. You don't have no boundaries because you know you don't like it, but you're letting somebody call you anything they want because you want to please them, but you're uncomfortable with it. That's not having boundaries. And that's just at the basis. I'll come back to you with more on boundaries because, hello, if you don't place boundaries, one, you don't recognize your value. You don't. And even if you do recognize your value, it's not to the extent that you think you do, or there's an insecurity there. And so I'll definitely discuss it with you further, but just think about that moving into 2026. What boundaries do you want to erect in your life to ensure that people do not take advantage of you? And on that note, deuces!